Mata turtle. Lying motionless in dark, tea-colored rivers of South America, the mata, Chelus fimbriata, is the master of deception. Its shell, rough and ridged like tree bark, and its skin, fringed with folds that resemble dead leaves, make it look less like a living reptile and more like swamp debris. Even its triangular, flattened head mimics a broken log, complete with a snorkel-like snout, so it can breathe while almost entirely submerged. But beneath the disguise is a predator built for ambush. Instead of chasing prey, the mata waits. When a fish swims too close, it doesn't bite. It creates a vacuum by opening its mouth in less than 0.05 seconds, sucking the prey in whole like a living pump. No chewing, no struggle, just a gulp and gone. Its strange appearance hasn't gone unnoticed in local lore. Indigenous peoples of the Amazon sometimes described river spirits that appeared as floating wood, only to swallow fish and vanish. It's easy to see how the mata, lurking unseen in the murky water, could fuel those tales. Despite looking like a fossil come to life, this turtle is very much alive today, quietly proving that sometimes the most legendary creatures don't need fire or wings. They just need the patience to look like nothing at all. Satanic leaf-tailed gecko. From the forests of Madagascar comes a reptile that looks like it was cut from a nightmare. The satanic leaf-tailed gecko, Uroplatus fantasticus, grows only about 10 centimeters, 4 inches long, yet its camouflage is unmatched. Its jagged-edged tail mimics a dead, decaying leaf so perfectly that even under close inspection, predators hesitate. Some tails appear torn, curled, or rotting, making the disguise disturbingly convincing. By day, it clings to bark, vanishing into the shadows. By night, it becomes a hunter, using large, lidless eyes to track moths and insects. Its eyes are extraordinary. Vertically slit pupils can expand into a full circle in darkness, and each eye holds more than 350,000 light-sensitive cells per square millimeter, giving it superior night vision. Local folklore in Madagascar paints it as a spirit of mischief, a forest devil that hides in plain sight. Its demonic name wasn't given by villagers, but by Western naturalists, stunned by its eerie appearance. Yet to those who know the forest, it's not a demon at all. It's proof that evolution creates illusions even trickier than human imagination. Axolotl. Unlike most amphibians, the axolotl, Ambystoma mexicanum, never undergoes full metamorphosis. It remains in its juvenile form for life, complete with frilly external gills sprouting like pink feathers from its head. Adults rarely grow beyond 30 centimeters, 12 inches, but they keep traits of a larva forever, a condition called neoteny. In Aztec mythology, the axolotl was linked to the god Xolotl, brother of Quetzalcoatl. According to legend, Xolotl fled sacrifice by transforming into a salamander that hid beneath the waters of Lake Xochimilco. That story lingers even today. A god that refused to die became an immortal amphibian. Biologically, they really do seem immortal. Axolotls can regenerate entire limbs, parts of their spinal cord, and even chunks of their brain. Scientists study them relentlessly, hoping their secrets may one day apply to human medicine. Yet, despite their mythical resilience, wild axolotls are critically endangered, with fewer than 1,000 left in nature due to pollution and urbanization. In aquariums worldwide, their almost cartoon-like appearance, perpetual smile, wide eyes, and pink frills, makes them look more like a creature from folklore than biology. In truth, they are both gods of legend and living keys to regeneration. Horned lizard. Across the deserts of North America lives a creature so bizarre it feels stitched from folklore, the horned lizard, Phrynosoma. Squat, round, and covered in spiny scales, it looks more like a tiny dragon than a lizard. Some species barely exceed 10 centimeters, 4 inches, in length, Yet they carry one of the strangest defenses in the animal kingdom. They can squirt blood straight from their eyes. The mechanism is as gruesome as it sounds. Specialized blood vessels around the eyes build pressure until they rupture, spraying jets up to 1.5 meters, 5 feet. The blood contains foul-tasting chemicals that repel predators like coyotes and foxes. In indigenous folklore of the Southwest, the lizard is often revered as a protective symbol, a blood warrior of the desert. Navajo stories describe horned lizards as sacred creatures tied to resilience and defense, their blood an emblem of sacrifice. Beyond the spectacle, these lizards also flatten their bodies against sand, blending seamlessly with the earth. With their crown of horns and uncanny defense, it's no surprise early settlers called them horned toads and imagined them as miniature dragons. Glass frog. In the rainforests of Central and South America, there are frogs that blur the line between myth and transparency. Members of the family Centralinidae, known as glass frogs, grow only 2 to 7.5 centimeters, 0.8 to 3 inches, long. Their skin is lime green on top, but their undersides are translucent, so clear you can see their beating heart, liver, and digestive system with the naked eye. To local traditions, such creatures symbolized fragility and hidden truths, spirits you could see through but never capture. Biologists have discovered over 150 species, each adapted to life on leaves above rushing streams. At night, males call with high-pitched peeps, guarding eggs laid on leaf surfaces. When tadpoles hatch, they drop straight into the water below. Their camouflage is not just transparency, but optical trickery. Studies in 2020 showed that the glass frog's translucent body reduces its outline against leaves, making it harder for predators like birds to detect. It's evolution's version of invisibility. A frog whose skin reveals its inner workings sounds like a parable, but it's real. A body of glass, fragile yet enduring, has kept this tiny legend alive in forests where everything is always watching. Flying dragon lizard. In the tropical forests of Southeast Asia, small lizards from the genus Draco have perfected flight without wings. Barely 20 centimeters, 8 inches long, these reptiles extend elongated ribs that support colorful membranes, bright orange, yellow, or red, that unfurl like sails. With a leap, they glide distances of up to 20 to 30 meters, 65 to 100 feet, between trees, steering with their tails as if piloting tiny aircraft. Locals have long regarded them as forest spirits. Their sudden, effortless glides gave rise to myths of miniature dragons that vanish before you can catch them. Some stories in Indonesia even describe them as messengers between trees, embodying the life force of the forest canopy. Scientifically, their gliding is a survival adaptation, allowing them to escape predators and patrol territories rich in ants, their primary food. Males will flash their bright yellow throat fans, called dewlaps, during territorial disputes or mating displays, transforming into bursts of color among the green canopy. A dragon that doesn't breathe fire but flies using ribs. It's proof that evolution doesn't need fantasy to create something extraordinary. It already did. Giant Chinese salamander. At lengths of nearly 1.8 meters, 6 feet, and weights over 60 kilograms, 130 pounds, the giant Chinese salamander, Andreas davidianus, is the largest amphibian alive today. It lurks in cool mountain rivers, its wrinkled, mottled skin resembling stone, and feeds on fish, crabs, and even small mammals. Its hunting style is stealthy, waiting motionless, then sucking prey into its cavernous mouth with a sudden vacuum strike. For over 2,000 years, Chinese folklore has linked these creatures to dragons. Their booming vocalizations, which echo like thunder underwater, earned them the name Wa-Wa-Yu, or infant fish, because their calls resemble a crying baby. Ancient texts described them as dragon spirits inhabiting rivers, guardians of balance between humans and water. Fossils show that their ancestors have existed for over 170 million years, surviving events that wiped out dinosaurs. Sadly, modern threats, habitat loss, and overharvesting have left them critically endangered, with wild populations reduced by more than 80% in the last 50 years. When villagers centuries ago pulled these massive, wrinkled amphibians from rivers, it was only natural to call them living dragons. In many ways, that's exactly what they are, prehistoric titans still clinging to our present. Suriname toad. Among the strangest amphibians ever documented, the Suriname toad, Pipa pipa, redefines reproduction. Native to the slow-moving rivers of South America, this flat, star-shaped toad reaches about 20 centimeters, 8 inches, in length. Its appearance is odd enough: triangular head, eyes positioned on top, body flattened like a leaf. But its breeding method is what makes it legendary. After mating, the female's back transforms into a living nursery. The male fertilizes the eggs and carefully presses each one into the female's spongy skin. Within days, her back seals over, creating pockets that incubate the embryos. Over the next 3 to 4 months, fully formed baby toads burst out of her skin, skipping the tadpole stage entirely. This strange cycle fueled local folklore. In Amazonian myths, spirits were said to plant children into the earth, who later emerged as warriors or healers, a likely echo of watching these toads give birth from their own bodies. Biologically, the process is an evolutionary marvel, protection from predators and disease, all contained in the parent's body. But to human eyes, it remains one of the most unsettling sights in nature, a living creature acting as its own birthing ground. Mary River turtle. Found only in Queensland, Australia, the Mary River turtle, Elusor macroris, is one of the planet's most unusual reptiles. Adults can reach 40 centimeters, 16 inches, in shell length, and are instantly recognizable for the algae that often grows on their heads, giving them a permanent, punk hairdo. But the strangeness goes deeper. This turtle breathes through specialized glands in its cloaca. Yes, essentially, its rear end. This adaptation allows it to stay submerged for up to 3 days without surfacing, making it a true underwater specialist. Discovered only in the 1990s, the Mary River turtle quickly gained fame for its bizarre looks and unusual biology. Conservationists warn it is critically endangered, with wild populations declining due to habitat loss from damming and pollution. Its rarity and appearance sparked Australian media to dub it the punk turtle, blending modern culture with evolutionary oddity. Legends among early European settlers told of water sprites, with moss for hair lurking in rivers, likely inspired by sightings of these turtles surfacing with algae-covered shells and green tufts. Few animals look both comical and mythical at once, but the Mary River turtle manages both, a reptile that wears time itself as a crown of moss. Flying snake. Across the forests of South and Southeast Asia lives a reptile that defies its own body shape, the flying snake, Chrysopolia. These slender snakes, averaging 1 to 1.2 meters, 3 to 4 feet, in length, flatten their ribs outward and launch themselves from trees. By undulating midair, they turn their bodies into living wings, gliding distances of up to 100 meters, 328 feet, longer than a football field. To ancient cultures, snakes already symbolize danger and transformation. Add the ability to fly, and the myths almost write themselves. In parts of India and Sri Lanka, stories of serpents falling from trees or drifting between branches likely grew into legends of nagas, semi-divine serpent beings that could move between earth and sky. Scientifically, the trick works because their flattened bodies generate lift, while their wriggling motion stabilizes the glide. They don't just fall gracefully, they steer, banking left or right to chase prey or escape predators. A limbless reptile carving through the air feels impossible, yet here it is, proof that nature never needed wings to create a dragon's silhouette. Olm, hidden in the limestone caves of the Balkans, the Olm, Proteus anguinus, has inspired superstition for centuries. Pale, elongated, and almost ghost-like, this salamander grows about 20 to 30 centimeters, 8 to 12 inches, and can live for more than 100 years. Its skin is translucent, sometimes pink, earning it the nickname human fish. Locals once believed olms were baby dragons washed out of caves during floods. Medieval records describe peasants collecting them as proof of subterranean monsters. Their eerie, sightless heads only fueled the myth. Biologically, olms are remarkable survivors. They can go up to 10 years without food, slowing their metabolism to a near standstill. Their external gills allow them to live fully aquatic lives in pitch darkness. Despite being blind, they detect light faintly through their skin and sense prey using an advanced lateral line system and electroreceptors. For centuries, scholars from the Habsburg Empire studied olms as evidence of underground dragons. Today, we know they are the last survivors of an ancient lineage stretching back 20 million years, making them living fossils. Where humans saw omens and dragons, nature had simply carved a creature that thrives in eternal darkness. Frilled lizard. In the savannas and woodlands of northern Australia and Papua New Guinea, the frilled lizard, Chlamydosaurus kingi, commands attention with one of nature's most theatrical defenses. Growing up to 90 centimeters, 3 feet long, it carries a large circular frill of skin around its neck, supported by long cartilaginous spines. Normally folded flat, this frill can suddenly flare to more than 25 centimeters, 10 inches wide, turning the lizard into a monster twice its size. When threatened, it rises on its hind legs, hisses, and charges with the frill wide open. To early European explorers, this display looked so dragon-like that sketches circulated across the world, feeding into myths of dragons of the antipodes. Aboriginal Dreamtime stories also tell of frilled lizards as guardians who warned of approaching danger by transforming their bodies. Scientifically, the frill intimidates predators while also helping regulate body temperature. When chased, the lizard can sprint upright, balancing on its hind legs like a tiny dinosaur, a reminder of its evolutionary ties to ancient reptiles. A living dragon doesn't need fire. It just needs a frill and the will to stand tall. Thanks for joining me on this journey through creatures that feel half legend, half reality. If you enjoyed it, subscribe and like to stay with us. Another world of wonders is waiting in the next story. Don't miss it.